Right, welcome people of the internet. We are Geeked Out. I am the host, British Hawk, and with me is my co-host, as always, Retro Geek Zen. And today we're going to be talking about why eSports is a sport, and any other opinions, of course, wrong.
You're wrong, Mr. Wong.
Oh, I didn't say that.
I'm Asian, so it's okay. Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one because I am a huge fan of esports documentaries. I wish they would make one every single fucking week because I would watch it. You know, like if Netflix had a series, an esports series where it's like one of those shitty reality TV shows that follows a bunch of pimply faced kids that have amazingly dexterous fingers. What do you call it? Finger dexterity. I would
hand-eye
actually,
coordination,
I, I
dexterity,
would,
and
I
all that
would
sort of stuff.
actually
Yeah.
watch that. You know,
Well, seeing their hands move is like literally just like, okay, yes.
they're like pianists, and I'm pretty sure they're good at tugging their dicks as well. Like seriously, those guys don't seem to have any life outside of just gaming. So if there's like five of them or whatever it is in a Dota team or something like that, if there's fucking five of them in a house
No,
locked up like they are. I bet you and have got good internet connection. They probably all watch porn at the same time, I'm assuming.
Well, they do like live together and shit like
That's
that,
what
and
I
they eat
mean.
together. They just There's just
Like
this massive circle jerk.
exactly. They're only human, right? So they must have to
We're not holding each other's dicks. We're holding each other's arms while helping ourselves hold our own dicks, and we just
joysticks.
move.
I have a feeling that they probably do get to that point where if you're living together in a country you don't know and you're gaming that hard, man, you've got to let off steam at some point. So I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I imagine they have lives outside of things. I think just because they're pro gamers, I think it's a bit of a stereotype just to say that they, because they're so into gaming, that they must just have absolutely no life. I mean, yes, they game and they train like harder than any kind of athlete, as in they do put
No,
in
they
like,
don't.
yes, they do. They
No, they
literally
don't.
they play hardcore like about 12 hours, probably even more that a day, and they'll
That's what
and
athletes do too.
no, they'll train for like around about 6, maybe 7 hours,
No. Well,
or
UFC
six
fighters are in
six
the gym all day and
six
all
to
night.
eight hours.
Hmm.
But for them, they
And
can't.
and
They
and a
could.
lot of athletes started at like 3 years old, you know? Oh,
Yeah,
Russian Olympians.
yeah, and that's fair. But no, they don't train that long because they can't,
Mm,
because your body will become fatigued and you could damage your body in that sort of way.
mm.
If you go, because yeah, you can go at it hardcore, but there's a limit to like how hardcore and for how long you can go at,
Well, you can go harder on a fucking controller than you can. Yeah,
or a keyboard. Yeah,
yeah.
but you still
Fuck, man. Imagine like the germs that you.
but you still risk injury as a gamer. It's ridiculous to think.
Yeah, like what? RSI,
No, people in the
bad eyesight.
MLG actually have had almost full wrist reconstruction surgery because they completely fucked up their wrist.
Oh, you see, at that point, I just think it's fucking stupid. Like, I just think, oh my God. Okay, it
Yes, but
depends on how much money you were
but
making, but
I'm
like,
sorry, but in all that sort of
holy
sense, all sport in
fuck.
some way is,
Really?
yeah, but in all that sort of sense, all sport in some way is really stupid, because you're essentially, your career is to get a ball or something like that and score imaginary points. That's it.
Well, I think there's an athleticism to a lot of. I think, oh man, Olympics is probably the first way a whole lot of people in this world are introduced to sports. I think, even though the Olympics is,
Completely disagree. In
yeah.
England, it is 100% through football,
Oh, through school first. You're right.
or
You're
through
right. You're right. You're right. Through
or
school.
soccer, as you
Yeah.
unintelligent people call
Yep.
it.
Yep. Yep.
Fuck.
Yep. Yep. No, you're
But
right. It's through
in
school. It's through
but
school. You're
but
right. Sport. Yeah.
in from different places in the world, it's completely different. Like through America, it'll be baseball or American football. I'm through Australia, it'd be like cricket, rugby, or AFL, depending on where you are, and so on and so forth. And it's just like that around the world. The Olympics isn't the first thing because it's spanned like 4 years apart.
No, yeah, the Olympics is more about like specific individuals that are. It's like the super teams, like the best of the best represent their country, and then you get to watch all the best in one go, which is pretty cool. But I do have a memory of being in high school. It was early years, not later years, and I got really into basketball. Like I got really good at running with the fucking ball and
I
stealing the
just
ball
got
of
really good
people.
at running.
But I remember being good at stealing the ball of people, and then I remembered at one stage uh, there was a tryout for the school team, and they chose two guys that I knew from my year, but I didn't know, like they weren't my mates, and they got chosen for their skill sets as opposed to be two different captains and to choose their teammates. And I was one of the last chosen. It's that classic example of
Oh, actually, no, I can't. Unfortunately, I can't share with you in that
what you were
because
picked
I was
first.
yeah, because I was a fast runner. Like a lot of people, like there was quite a few sporting events where someone would pull me aside and go, "Hey, we're going to be doing this. We want you on the team." And I'm just like, "Why?" And like,
Well,
because you're a really fast runner and you can put pressure on this person. I'm like, Okay, yeah, whatever. Just tell me when it is, and yeah, whatever, I'll do it."
well,
And then
well, that's the
so,
thing. Like so you had it good, but put yourself in my shoes and a whole lot of other people that went through something similar. In that, like when I was really into it, and I was really you don't know when you're that young, like if this is my calling or not, but like I fucking enjoy it. I love it. It makes me feel good. I'm starting
well,
to develop some skills. But then they just looked at your height, like because I was short, and
yeah,
maybe
because
because
you're
I was
Asian.
one of, well, exactly. I was about to say I was one of the only Asian people in the school at that year, that early year, and it just felt shit, man. Like I just think it's one of those things that, as an adult, it probably still.
Okay, well, I kind of have an opposite story to that because I did this. I was in like this sort of like it was just a PE lesson, and they were like, "Let's do a badminton tournament." I'm like, I actually enjoyed playing badminton. I was really good at it. And like, in fact, in a few examples, the teachers would literally point to me and go, "You just like using strikes a lot," and I'm like, why are you fucking using me as an example? I'm like, okay, and this chick was writing all of our names, but she was putting all these signs right next to it.
Mm.
But my name had a star right next to it, and it
Huh.
was the only one. And I was just like, what the fuck? I'm like,
But didn't you
I
like that? Like that, isn't it
no,
empowering?
I went up to her. I'm just like, why is the star right next to mine? It's like, because you're gonna win. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, it's obvious you're gonna win. I'm just like, I was like, fucking, like, okay, like, I was feeling a bit prideful. I'm just like, God damn, like, I was like,
So
oh,
there you go. Like
really
not
seen?
not
Am I really seen as that good? And I'm just like, no, no. I'm just like, oh, it is what it is. And I'm just like, I played some people.
but not to be patronizing, right? Like not being patronizing at all here. But isn't it funny how it's worked out? It's like there are guys out there that are bigger than me, musclier than me, taller than me, and in my opinion, better looking than me. And they'd be like straight up to my face, dude, you're the fucking alpha male. Because they think things because of what I'm doing with photography and shooting girls and stuff. And I'll say straight back to their faces, are you fucking kidding me, bro? Like I'm 3 foot shorter than you. I'm skinny as fuck, or well, now I'm pretty fat, and it's just like I. It's so in the head, and some of the hottest dudes that were in like high school that had all the chicks, they could get any fucking chick in high school. They lost their fucking hair. They went bald. They lived in fucking trucks. They lived in fucking buses and shit, and not even in a house. And they became nothing. And it's like it's just funny how I feel like everything that was against me in high school, like all the racism and all, like I couldn't even play basketball because I wasn't even chosen to play. Um, it's almost like it's flipped 180, So
Yeah, but
like, do
my
you
school,
find that like just because you got all that special treatment back then and you were dope as fuck, maybe
uh,
it was too early for you to have an ego?
okay, okay. Let's put it like this: there was no teams or anything like that. As in, there's no like a football team or anything like that. I was on a British Army base. Like the nearest school was like so many hours away. So it like, yes, I felt a bit prideful and everything like that, being all my running, but that was about it. And
You must
like
have fucking loved it, right?
I wasn't one of the popular kids or anything like that. I'd say I was in like the middle class. I had my group of friends.
Surely that would have made you popular though. If you're in a sporting event and
Oh,
everyone's checking you out and you've got a star next to your name, doesn't it
no,
draw
no, 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 no,
attention?
no. Nah,
No?
all I was good at was running.
Yeah, but
Oh,
running is like look at look at look at
well, not, I
Hussein
guess,
Bolt. Hussein Bolt is like the fastest man in the world, and he's a fucking superstar, man. He's like a legit like the Flash. He is the human representation of the Flash.
yes, but that's not how it worked in my school. Just because you had this, yeah, but because I'd run fast, because I'd be like pushing myself and being going like I'm gonna be first. A lot of people are like, fucking, you're a tryhard. I'm like, okay,
Really?
yeah. I got a bit of flack, a bit of a backlash and flack from that. Like you're just being a tryhard. I'm just
Do you
like,
think that's again where when you succeed in life, you
and to
start to
me,
develop like people start to get jealous and then it turns to hate? Like, do you think that's where it came from? They were actually jealous of you, and
I
that's
don't, I don't,
why.
I don't, I don't think it was fully jealousy because I think a lot of it was actually just a bit of banter. But at the same time, it's just like you're a bit of a tryhard. And I'm just like, but to me, I was just like, okay, well, isn't that the point though?
Mm,
If you're playing, don't you want to put like 100% into it? Like, or why would you just rock up and go, I'm going to play this, and then go, I'll put like 50% into it, maybe.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, interesting, interesting. But back on the esports stuff, right? So I
So
um
you were saying to me that you don't respect the players. Now, I'd like to put
yeah.
this. I don't watch esports. The only sports that I've got into was Russian League volleyball, and we'll come back to that later because that it is sort of a point that we might get onto that topic.
Wait. Before I just want to correct you on that. It's not that I don't respect. I do respect. Like I've seen enough documentaries to go. I'm gonna do more research on that guy because I like that guy. Like I like certain characters within these documentaries, and I've gone and done more research on them, and they seem like really cool people, and they give back to their community and stuff like that. So it's definitely not that I don't respect it. I just think there's a lot of people probably trying to do it and they have a skewed view of success or um, yeah, I think it's different to athletic sport because at least with athletic sport, if you're trying and
Well,
you're
you
still
phrased it.
failing,
Well,
if
you
you
phrased it earlier as real sport.
well, that's the thing with real sport.
Yes, but
That requires you to move your body and actually run and jump and breathe hard and sweat hard. I think that at least if you fail at that, you're still going to have fitness on your side, and that's a good thing. And I know that because I'm 45 and I do no exercise, and I'm going to fucking die soon if I don't. So I know for a fact that even if you try to be an athlete, sports athlete, and you fail, at least
no,
you go to the gym and you work out and you're keeping fit and you've got a diet and stuff. Whereas these esports guys, like I've seen enough documentaries to know that they are slouching in their chairs, they are eating shit microwave food because it's on the footage. They are literally just eating at weird times. There is no nutritionist. It doesn't look healthy to me.
yeah, but
That's
like
what I'm getting at.
the whole fitness thing, yeah, sure, that's fine. But unfortunately, because I did a job experience with the army in the army gym where I was growing up,
Hmm.
and at first I'm like, these guys like because they're like PT instructors and everything like that, these guys like fit, so they're like, they're like the guys, like they're like the fit guys and everything like that. They've got pretty much the advantage to everyone else. And then I was like to my dad, and I'm like, well, they've got the advantage because they're really fit. It's like, yeah, so. And I was like, that's all they've got. And I'm like, oh, like, yeah.
Or you mean as in they don't have brains?
Well, like, apparently they're called gym queens. Well, it's just a case of the fact that it's like, yeah, that's all they've really got fully to lean on. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not to say they don't have brains or anything like that. It was just like the way he put it. I can't entirely remember. It was like years ago, but I
Mm.
was just like, oh, I guess that's true. I guess. I'm like, because athletes, yeah, they've got their fitness, but it's more to do with the fact that they've got their image to lean on because they'll have sponsorships and everything like that. I mean,
Only if you're good.
yeah, like Usain Bolt, I imagine he makes most of his money on sponsorships because he's the world's fastest man in the 100-meter race. But some,
Well, the sponsorships only come because he is the fastest. Like that's the
yeah,
thing. Like I think as soon as your performance drops, then you lose your sponsors. And
yeah,
what's even worse than
but
that.
when was the last time that we talked about Usain Bolt running or
No, no, yeah. Oh, fair call, fair call. But it's funny to even become a household name in various
yeah,
countries. Like that's a feat in itself, bro. Like there's so many. How many people are on this planet, and everyone seems to know this one guy that runs fast. Like that's pretty fucking hardcore, huge, man. Like I don't think you can be an esports gamer. Doesn't matter how fucking much money you've made and how many tournaments you've won. I don't think
disagree. I
I,
think in
I'm telling you
comparison,
right now that more people would know of Usain Bolt than the best esports player in the world. I can
oh yeah, no,
guarantee that.
yeah,
I
no,
can guarantee it.
no, that's 100% a guarantee. I couldn't really name you any esports team or player, but you've got
There you go. My
Twi you,
point. My point. My point.
yeah, but Twitch players and everything like that, like so they're a lot more famous. But
Well, who the fuck are they?
saying real sport is a completely subjective thing
Like
because
Michael
what
Schumacher, everyone knows who he is from Formula One, but who the fuck
yeah,
knows the fastest driver in some fucking simulator? Like who gives a fuck about those guys?
yeah, but who knows the fastest driver in what some other sports and like
Yeah, sure. There's
F
there's lots of good drivers, but there's the thing like who knows any of the esports drivers? No
well,
one.
some of the esports drivers are the actual drivers in F1 because they did that whole tournament because of the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
COVID
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I saw that. And some of the esports guys are actually faster. You know what? What's fascinating is like that's the thing. I'm not hating. Like I saw a whole two or three documentaries on people who are the fastest esports drivers in the world. They get chucked in a fucking real car at some point, and they
Oh yeah,
actually
no.
did really well. Like they actually slayed in a real car.
Oh yeah, no, that's been proven a few times. They're not like the best when it comes to like the real stuff, but when it comes to like them going, oh, here, do the real thing, I bet you, and they're expecting them to do like really bad, but they end up doing like pretty well.
Yeah. So
I,
that's proof. That's proof that there is a connection. Like I agree with you there. Like I'll give you a funny story. When I
ha
was
ha ha
flown.
ha ha ha.
Laugh in advance, and I'll record that and play it back later. I got flown over to Sweden to help give some input into Need for Speed, right?
Oh
So
yes, I remember this.
we all were playing the game, and it was funny, man. I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about it, but like when we were playing the game, we were falling through the world. We were falling through the map. Like if you crashed somewhere, you'd fall through the map because it was just so buggy at that stage. It was completely under development, right? And so we're all testing it, but the way our group was split up was um, five of us were part of the real automotive industry and real drivers, and the other five that they invited over were gamers. They were YouTubers. They had
Yeah,
YouTube gaming channels. So it was really split between the two of us, like five and five. And so when we're sitting in a meeting room, everyone's got a coffee in hand. We just had our breakfast, and these developers would be legit asking us for feedback on the game. These gamer guys were like, when you're sitting in an R34 GTR and you're just entering the corner and you you should expect the rear to start coming out, and when you're braking it should be a little bit more unstable, and we were looking at each other, like my mates and I were looking at each other going, fuck, is he talking about like real driving or sim driving? And it was so interesting to us because these guys knew so much about car control and how a car should feel, but they've never actually fucking done it in real life. So we're sitting there. I've got like Alexi from Noriyaro, who I'm actually doing a podcast with tomorrow, and he's an awesome dude that has a huge YouTube channel, and he lives in Japan and drifts in Japan. And Alexi's giving feedback to the developers on drifting in the game, but from a very realistic point of view, in that he's a drifter. But these guys were giving, but
which
these
club is he a
guys,
part of?
these YouTubers were giving feedback that was just as legit as Alexi was, but they've never drifted a car.
Which drift team is he with? Is he with the Red
Oh,
Suns or the Night Kids?
Well, he did just buy an 8086 actually. But yeah, it was just fascinating to us. Like honestly, I wouldn't say we had our jaws dropped, but we were absolutely looking at each other going, fuck, these geeky YouTube guys are talking about car control and stuff quite realistically. And we were quite impressed, to be honest.
Yeah.
You could laugh at it. We could laugh at it and go, what the fuck are you guys talking about? You've never fucking done that before. But obviously they have in other car games.
Yeah, but to some degree, a lot of people like to
Driving
go
games.
into quite a bit of a knowledgeable thing to sort of enhance their
It's what they
depth.
know. Yeah.
One of my friends, when he was playing Star Wars and he was role playing, I was like, "Hey, what are you up to?" And he's just like, "Just researching sword fighting." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Oh, you know." And then he was like linking me all these videos, and he's just like, just like really get into the game and stuff. I'm just like, okay.
No, it's funny. Another. I just remembered. I just remembered another sort of related story to that. I was flown down to Melbourne to have a few days on the Great Ocean Road with all the star cars from Forza, and again, it was split between like I was the only sort of car guy there, the only driver there, and the rest of the people were YouTubers. And
Yeah.
it was awkward, like the only one girl that was there, I sat down on the couch with her. I'm like, yeah, hey, how's it going? So
Can I take your
you're a
photos?
YouTuber. And she just shut me down hard. Like she was feminist as fuck, and she just killed me with a few words. And I'm like, fuck, I'm in a savage environment here. But as soon as we got out onto the
What do
cars,
you
like
mean?
we had breakfast one morning, and the fucking Lamborghinis and Ferraris and shit were all there. There's fucking GTRs and shit. And as soon as we got onto the Great Ocean Road, I was just like aggressive as fuck. These guys were going for a Sunday drive. I was right up their asses and trying to overtake as soon as I could because I just wanted to fang the fuck out of these cars. But yeah, that was fascinating too. Like it's just interesting. Like I just find it interesting.
Yeah.
It's the esports versus the reality, and I get it. They must have had such a good time driving, $400,000 or $500,000 sports cars or whatever. But I had a better time, I think, because at least I got the cars warm. You know, But I get it. Like I think the esports thing. We're not talking anyone my age. Like I doubt there's anyone that's 45 that is raking it in esports. I think it's a young thing. Can we both agree on that?
Yeah, I can agree on that. It's pretty much people my age.
Well, no, you're not. Even younger than you. I think that we're talking about early 20s, maybe.
No, like the esports has been around for like years.
No, 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 no. I mean the average age of a sponsored esports
Oh
player
no,
would be in
I'd
their
say
early 20s.
no, I'd say that's debatable because like you still got play because you'll still probably have players that are about 30 odd years
30,
old.
and they're the what do they call it?
They're the
They're the
veterans. So,
veterans of the sport.
yeah,
Fucking, they're the ones with the thumb reconstruction.
yeah. So but no, I'd say maybe the average age would probably be mine. But no, going back to it because I was also saying I'm not a sports fan because I find it
Yeah, yeah. Let's
really
talk about this.
I
Let's
just
talk.
find it personally I find sports ridiculously repetitive, boring.
What, you don't think
And
computer games are?
um,
Got you there. Computer games are fucking repetitive.
okay, when I in this case you caught me out in the fact that
I caught you
I've said
out.
sport, I've said sports,
Yeah, I'm talking about all the
but
sports, all the real sports are on computer games too. People play fucking
okay,
computer game sports
yeah,
like
okay,
soccer and Madden and shit.
oh no, they're repetitive. I've played those games. They're fucking repetitive shit.
Right. So there you go. So okay. So you're saying that sports in real life that you think are repetitive just as
What what
repetitive
what I
when they
mean
put them on
is
the
what I
computer.
mean is sport. What I mean like sports like football, rugby, union, cricket, everything like that. I find that super repetitive. I
Yeah,
just
but people play those in the esports
but
world.
but
Oh well, in the computer game,
some of
video
them,
game world.
yeah, some of them, yeah. But like those are generally like one person as well. Like you'll literally just have one person on the couch playing of it. Anyways, I don't watch that because the biggest esports is MOBAs. Particularly LOL.
Oh
And
yeah, so
and like I said, I don't like esports either. I've seen a few of the games, and even then, I just go cool. Like the big turn off point for me for esports is just the commentary and everything like that. I like
you
Soviet
why?
Wombles.
Oh, the esports commentary you're talking about, like the yeah, fuck. But
Yeah, no, I
sports
prefer I
sports
prefer
commentary
s-
is
I
pretty.
prefer I prefer stuff like Soviet Womble sort of stuff where they're literally just it's just
Do
really
you
just
watch League of
it.
Legends? Like, do you watch
No.
matches?
No.
Do you find that boring?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do. So, but that's like the one that makes the most money, I think.
Yeah, but I just respect the sport because I think in some ways it's done better than art, what you might call traditional sports.
In
Because
what way, though? How is League of Legends compare League of Legends to something that you hate? Like, just say you hate soccer. I can't watch a soccer match from start to
no
end,
no no
bro. Like,
what no what I mean is I think it's constructed better is that it's now common if you know better than this, like you can correct me if you want, but the way I understood it was it's always the best teams of that year playing, not just any like so in NRL, AFL, NBA,
mhm.
the National Baseball League, you have set specific teams and they'll draft in players. So you've got the Baltimore Ravens, the Patriots, you've got the Broncos, the Melbourne Storms, you've got the Lakers and the Bulls and everything. They
Sure,
will
sure, sure,
always
sure.
they'll always be there every year to year to year to year,
Hmm.
and they'll just have this cluster. They'll just have this like all these players like sort of just like shoved in together and everything like that instead of like made teams that were like sort of handpicked by the team themselves. But to me, all the appeal is that you can literally say that the best of the best are playing that year.
Yep.
Because if you literally look at all the sports that I mentioned before, there's always the teams that are always pretty much on the top of the board, the teams that are always in the middle, and the ones that could barely fucking win anything.
Right.
I mean, in
It's like
NFL,
Formula One, same shit. Like, there's teams that always win. There's a team in the middle, and there's a team that always comes at the bottom.
the one like NFL, it comes to mind because that's the sport I did really get into. Tennessee Titans and the New York Jets. From the time that I saw them, they pretty much like basically won fuck all. And the matches that I did watch once when I was in America, that even my parents got like super bored with, it was like really bad. They pretty much just kept scoring on each other like super easily. And I'm just like, I don't know if this is like good or just like bad. And then eventually it was just like, no, this is just really boring.
Dude, I grew up with watching a bit of tennis on TV, and then I grew up playing tennis quite a lot and getting coaching and stuff, and not getting good at it, but enough to enjoy playing with mates, occasionally. And at
See,
some
playing
point,
sports and watching sports is different to
it's
me. I
different. Yeah, no,
like
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. But one second, like I actually ended up at one stage watching a live finals in Melbourne at the Rod Laver Arena, and I got to see Sharapova play and got to hear her scream. Like every fucking shot sounds like she's having an orgasm. It's like, ah! It's like fucking hell. It was erotic as fuck. I can't believe I just said that, but it really was.
I need to
She was
masturbate. Get out.
so hot, man. She was so hot, like and she was tiny, because I didn't have greatest seats, but just having, I don't know how many fucking people were in that arena, man. Like if I looked around, there was at least like, I don't know how many people that arena can fit, but it was the biggest arena in Melbourne. There were so many people in the crowd, and there were these two tiny little far away women on this court in front of all of us, and they were playing their fucking hearts out, and it was so special. I don't know why, and everyone shut up during the match. Like it's not like you're watching TV and you can go, oh, it's not like you're playing a computer game where you could like be eating a pizza and like talking shit. Like we had to respect the sport to a point where no one could talk while they were playing. And you're talking about an auditorium full of tens of thousands of people, and no one said a thing. You could hear a pin drop. Um, I don't know, but there's something about it. Like I'm not a sports guy, hugely a sports guy, but having been there and having uh, seen how somehow you could, everyone in the auditorium, in everyone respected the two players, and how these two players were a spectacle to everybody else, and it was entertainment. It was just, it's trippy, bro. I don't know how to explain it. It was trippy. I kind of get sport from that one game that I saw live, and the whole world was watching. Well, the whole tennis world was watching live, but it was happening in a place that was close to my hometown. And yeah, I just respected sport so much more after that.
Well, there's no doubt.
It's epic. It's there's more eyes on you than esports. Like
Yeah,
Sharapova had the whole tennis world watching it live. People were staying up to watch it, and it was being beamed across the world live. And
yeah,
it was just weird that she was in the flesh in front of me, um, and I could hear her, and I could see her sweating, and I could just see her. I think she lost even, but it's just like fucking amazing. Like I don't know. There's something about it that I'm not anti esports or anti real sports. I'm not crazy into either of them,
yes,
to
but
be
as I said,
honest.
saying real sport is completely subjective, considering that how many things nowadays is technically a sport.
Esports isn't a real sport, man. No fucking
Disagree,
way.
disagree entirely.
No fucking way, man. It's fucking like shooting a gun in the game is not like shooting a gun in real life. No fucking way. I'm about to go and shoot some guns, by the way. I'll fucking let you know as soon as I do that.
I shot a gun in real life myself.
Yeah, yeah, so have I, but it's nothing like fucking shooting in Destiny or the Division.
Of course, it's not.
No fucking way is it anything like it. Even the presence of a gun alone in a small room is enough to make me nervous and realize this thing can fucking kill someone. Like it's, even if it's got no bullets in it, a gun in real life and holding it is way more exciting than holding the best guns in the world in the Division. And I know that for a fact, man, because I've picked up some guns in real life that were
I
like,
wouldn't say just because it isn't real, as in just because you're not
I think it's
using a
just
real
because
gun.
it's not real. Like I've
Uh,
used every fucking gun in the Division, and I've gone, oh, this gun is shit, but I don't even know what that gun's like in real life. I've just gone, I don't like the FAMAS, you know, I like the G36. I'm like,
yes, but
what am
as
I
I
even
said,
talking about?
yes, but as I said before, when people go esports, generally because it's the biggest part of esports, MOBAs, League of Legends,
Yeah,
that
well, I don't like
that
those games.
that pretty much is esports.
Yeah, I don't like those games.
Because yeah, and when you talk about Madden, NFL, and everything like that, those are esports, but they're not handled by like the same people that um do the LOL tournaments. They're usually done by
Yeah.
the NFL themselves. As in,
I'd be curious to know if those tournaments are still going in 2020. Like, I
of
know
course they go. Yeah, they're still going,
well, the prize money was $1 million
oh yeah,
in
no, it's going up
2014.
further. It's yeah, but as someone stated
Let me go to Google.
in
Like
2000 in
seriously.
2013 there was an NBA final that was playing on ABC, a public channel that anyone could come across, and there was a League of Legends tournament finals that was playing on Twitch, a site that you is only accessible by previously knowing about it. And it
Mm.
was 2013, so Twitch wasn't exactly a big thing back then as it was nowadays. And the LOL tournament, I think the NBA was about 26.3 or 26.8 million viewers, and the LOL tournament was 32 million.
Wait, say that again. The
I think,
viewers, you mean?
yeah, the viewership.
Well, I'm just having a look at 2019. I'm looking at last year's season world championship for League of Legends, and the prize money's gone down. from 2014.
Oh, damn.
So that proves my point in that I think. Oh, no, no, no. Sorry, sorry. I could be wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Shocker.
The the winner only got 834,000. The winner, but overall, because there's so many different places within the game, even if you come 21 to 24th, you get 11,000. So overall, the prize pool was 2 million. 2.2 million. So yeah, it's no longer you win $1 million if you win. Now it's 2 million spread amongst every single player that's
But
there.
honestly, just because I think something makes so much money doesn't necessarily make it a sport.
No, but I just didn't think they could sustain it. Like I
Because I
didn't
mean,
think they could sustain the winner gets $1 million. Like it's a lot of money, right?
yeah, but I'd
It's a
say,
lot of money.
yeah, but
So
I'd say,
even the fact that I've just gone and researched last year, the winner did not get 1 million. But fuck, it's pretty fucking close.
yeah, but
834,000
honestly,
is pretty fucking close.
yeah, but honestly, I think the players. It's hard to say. I think the players are getting into that sort of sport for a better reason than like I've seen people get into like football and that. And it's a case of the fact that they're getting into the sport, like they're not making a lot of money. I mean, they kind of are, but like compared to like a Twitch streamer or a YouTuber, they're not making like that much money.
How
But they're
much do you
just
think a Twitch streamer is making?
some of them make fucking tons of money.
But you don't even know. That's the problem. We don't even know.
I
Oh,
mean,
dude. So how's this? In 2018, first prize got two and a two thousand 2 million, 2.5 million. So in 1 year, from 2018 to 2019, it dropped from 2.5 million to 800,000. So something must have happened to esports.
maybe it's a regulation. So I don't know.
Something
We'd have to
happened.
look into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as I was saying, I
The
think a
prize
lot.
pool was 6.5 million in 2018.
Yeah, but to me, I think the most of those players have gotten into that sport
Do you think it's dying? I
because
hope it's fucking dying, man. I fucking hope it dies. I don't think so. I don't think it's right. I just don't think it's right. I don't think someone should win 2.5 million for playing a computer game
why?
because it's not real.
Yeah, but I don't think someone should be earning 200 million pounds or dollars for kicking a ball
I do because it. I
one
think
week.
that's real skill. I think that's like. I think that is physical, and it's like um I don't know. I just don't like the
No,
idea of a bunch of
I
kids
no,
in a
no,
country and they're just
no,
playing computer games for
no,
10 hours a day.
I completely disagree. Someone going earning like 2 million because they're going like fully properly contributing to society, so like your soldiers and stuff like that, whereas compared to athletes who go onto a pitch once a week, kick a ball around,
Yeah, but sport gives people pleasure.
which they might do for a total of like 8 minutes of a 90-minute game, only for there basically not much to happen except for like a 0-0 or 1-0
Oh, soccer. Yeah, I've never been a huge soccer
football.
fan, to be honest. So
Uh,
yeah, football. Yeah, I've never been a. Yeah, I. Oh man, I don't even want to go. I don't even want to have the soccer fans fucking be breathing down my back. Like, it's not even
Okay,
worth it.
then
But yeah, it's
we'll go to baseball. That's just
fucking. I don't like baseball either, man. So
yeah, but
I don't
they
even
go
like Formula One. I think it's fucking boring. Oh,
yeah,
there you
but
go. I'm just gonna. It's
they
just I
also
can't watch it.
yeah, but baseball they also get paid big bucks. Some of them just literally stand there and go, "Is the ball coming to me? No, well, I'm not going to move." Some of
Yeah.
them will literally go, "We're on the batting team. What am I doing?" You'll just be sitting there. You're like not up to like you're like number 14, so
Look,
you probably won't
look, I don't
even.
think I'm into either sport. Like, I don't think I'm into esports or real sports. But I feel like I
Yeah,
could
but to
more
say
easily respect someone who's into a real sport as opposed to an esport. I think that's all. Like, if I was to be given a chance to sit down with someone over a beer, and do a podcast with them or interview them, would I choose someone who makes $1 million a year, or from real sport, or would I choose a random person from esports that makes $1 million a year to interview? I'm like, I'm going to take the real sport guy or girl
well,
over
since
the
yeah, but you were
esport person.
saying before that you want Netflix documentaries about them, so it sounds like you'd be more interested in the esports star.
I found them fascinating. Yeah, I just found it a little bit sad, but I found them interesting. You know, like I think there's a whole lot of people that are trying to be the best, and I think the failure stories are always going to be more interesting to me than the success
Yes,
stories.
but I'm just sick of this whole thing where it's just where the one that I surround when I see esports players, they're playing the game because they like playing the game. Whereas I've seen some people go, I'm playing this sport because I want the money. It's like, okay,
Well, you
okay.
still got to be good. Either way, you've got to be good. You know, you're not going to last that long if you're not good, right? Like ultimately, you're not going to last forever if you're just shit. So
No, I can't agree at all when someone goes, the esports players don't have any skills. Like, are you fucking serious? Oh yeah.
I just don't think it's real sport. I really don't. I think um, you can't. That's why it's called esport. That's honestly, that's the black and white for me. It's
What,
called
electronic sport.
esports. Yeah, it's not real sport, and that's what makes it okay for me.
Yes, but as I keep saying, what somebody considers real sport is completely subjective because basically everything nowadays is a sport. Fishing is a sport. Poker is a sport. Throwing sacks
Yeah,
is a
you're
sport.
right. You're
Bowls
right.
is
You're
a
right.
sport.
Yeah, fuck. How is poker a sport, man? That's fucking bullshit. That's
No,
bullshit. That is
as
not a sport.
no, as they had a Dota tournament on ESPN and people blew up about it. They didn't blow up with the fact that poker, the World Series of Poker, was
You're right.
on ESPN.
Yeah, but a lot of people would probably think poker's not a real sport either.
Yes, but no,
It's
it's not.
fucking.
It's not
It's
a real
not, man.
sport
It's
rule.
fucking gambling, is what it is.
No, but I'm sorry, but esports is literally structured and arguably better than traditional
The way I
sports.
see it, before computer games were around, we used to play board games, right? So there was like, I remember these ads on TV for like the ultimate cricket board game, and the board game itself looked so sick. You needed
Yeah,
to
but
have
if you
a big
okay,
table, and
you're talking about board games.
mm,
That is technically sport. Chess and checkers are
that's what
sport.
I mean. So
Go is a sport.
yeah, but these board games were emulating a real game. So that's why what I look at video games as, they are an emulation of a real sport. So that's why they're not sport.
How is a MOBA a real sport? I've never seen
Yeah, but it
some
came
gorilla.
from that.
I've never
It
seen a
came from
gorilla just
that.
running down the jungle trying to
It
attack a tower. I
it
mean, I'd
came
love
from
to
that.
see that.
Yeah, it came. That's why I'm saying it is not a real sport. It's not even real. It's not even real in the first place. It's all fucking fantasy shit. So it's.
Technically, a lot of sports, in a way, are fantasy. You are scoring imaginary points.
I disagree, man. If you a lot of sports is like, yeah, if you come first, you fucking come first. It's like when I look at the Olympic Games, you cross that line first, then you beat the guy or whoever that came second, and it's just like that's just the way competition. You want to.
Yes, but
That's what sport is. It's all about competition.
very few people in those lines of things. I mean, you come up with like Usain Bolt. Name every single gold medalist in the last Olympics.
Of course you can't. Of course you can't. But it's not even about that. I just think that a lot of people will probably know of some, like Serena Williams or Roger Federer. Even if you're not into tennis, you probably still know their names. And I think that's
Of
pretty
course you do.
impressive to get to a point in, even same thing with musicians. Like you kind of always dream as a musician. Well, I can't speak for everyone, but I know that when I was
Yes, of
like,
course you do. You talk about Michael Jordan. You
oh,
can't be into basketball, but you'll
there you
always
go.
know
There you
Michael
go. I
Jordan.
think that
You might not
isn't.
be into the might not be into the NFL, but you'll know who fucking what's his name John Montana Joe Montana is.
See, I don't know who that is. I've
Can't
never
believe you
heard of
don't
that
know who
name in
John
my
Montana
life.
is.
No, I've never heard of that person in my entire life. Never. No. But I do know
What about
who
Tom
Michael
Brady?
Jordan is, and Tom Brady rings a bell, but I don't know who that is either.
Yeah, but he's a familiar to like Tom Brady is like a big example too. Like a lot of people pretty much know it, and I know a lot of people pretty much just became
Who's Tom
Patriot
Brady? What sport does he play?
NFL. He was the quarterback for
NFL
the
is
New England Patriots,
what's NFL?
American football.
Yeah, you see, I don't know anything about American football. Like I don't know a single person that's famous from American football.
See, I got into American football just because of the strategy behind it. I was like, this is pretty cool. Like they don't just keep playing; they have to like stop.
Do you remember they had the lingerie league?
If you're talking about the female league, that's still going on.
And no, but they have to play in lingerie.
They don't have to play in. They have to play in bikinis. Yes.
Bikini, yeah, like as in, it's not like what the guys wear. It's like skimpy shit. Their boobs,
Yeah.
you can see their boobs and their butts and stuff. Like, how the fuck did that happen, bro? Like, is that still going?
Yeah, it's still going.
No, it's not. Surely all the feminists would be shutting that fucking shit down.
You'd think so, but no.
Is it still going? Like, so, oh my God, what's it called?
I can't remember. Just putting like
I'm
female
Googling
American
this.
football.
American football lingerie. I'm pretty sure it was lingerie, wasn't it?
Not lingerie. It's
Lingerie
bikinis.
Football League, it's called.
Yeah.
It's called the Lingerie Football League. Oh no, they're old videos, man. They're rocking up as like 2012, 2000. Does it still exist? It ended. Wait up. Oh my God, I'm seeing 2020.
Yeah, I know it was launched into a new series because recently one of their athletes died.
Holy shit, it's still going. Okay, so it's not lingerie. It's kind of like just
Bikinis.
it's sportswear. It's bikinis. It's kind of like sporty active wear, but they're still pretty nude.
Yes, I know.
It's not called the Lingerie Football League anymore. Now it's called. Oh, yeah, it still is. It's called Legends Football League now, because
I
they're
imagine
trying to
that's why
ditch the lingerie. Yeah, so now it's called Legends Football League, formerly known as the Lingerie Football League. Fucking lame. Get rid of this shit, man. This is just embarrassing. Holy shit. I can't believe it still exists. Like, if these girls are really good players and they're serious about it, why don't they just wear the proper outfit, you know?
That's a good
I don't
question.
know, man. Holy shit. Even the site that I'm checking this out on is on a lingerie website, a lingerie blog, and all the ads on the right are like pornographic. So
Yeah, pretty much.
this is embarrassing for these girls. And there you go. Like, the first photos I see are when they're bending down
Yep.
at the line and they're all
The line of scrimmage, yeah.
asses out. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. I can't believe that's still going. Like, considering how hardcore feminists are these days, I'm surprised they have not shut down this sport.
I imagine some of them are trying to.
I'd imagine they'd have to try. I mean, why wouldn't they protest in front of that fucking show? You know, like,
Because it's not petty enough.
Fucking hell. Wow, I'm shocked that still exists. Like, yeah, but I'd probably, like, I hate to come across as sexist or whatever, but I'd probably rather watch that than fucking League of Legends, man.
Well, that's fair. No, but
you mentioned something, by the way, on Discord. You mentioned something about girl gamers in esports. Oh,
yeah,
it seems like a good transition to bring that up.
I watched a video on because when all that sort of stuff, when they were talking about just they were talking about the LOL league, and some people were like, are girls allowed to play in the league? It's like, is there a rule against it? And they went, no, there isn't.
Of course there isn't, right? Yeah.
It's unisex. Like, a girl can play on a male team, or it can be. So what they decided to do was start to launch all female teams, and
as a marketing ploy.
I guess, but like what they did was, instead of them going into the full league itself, they just had them play other all-female teams, and everyone was just like,
oh,
okay,
really? So they went separatist, kind of like girls versus girls.
Yeah. But then
but don't you think most sports are like that anyway? Like, you don't have UFC women fighting UFC men.
Yeah, but that's because those are full contact sports.
Right.
And obviously in video games it's not.
It shouldn't matter. Really. It shouldn't matter. You're right. You're completely right. Yeah, it shouldn't matter. So did they do that maybe because I'm wondering, why would they do that?
I can't entirely remember. Someone might know in the comment section if there's a comment at all. But what they ended up doing was so they got a team, or the sponsors of this particular team ended up like getting rid of all the players, all the male players, and they replaced them with all females, which, okay, fair. And they just made this all-girl team, and they were terrible. And not because they were girls or anything like that, as in they just were not up to the level of that. Like, I can fully expect that an
So
actual
they were
female.
promoted as opposed to,
Yeah, they
being
were
the
more
world's
they were
best already. They were promoted to
yeah,
this
they
role.
were they were pretty much just like brought in because
Oh, I
of their
can't blame
gender.
them then. They probably copped a shit ton of hate for that, but it probably wasn't
Some
even
of
their
them did,
fault.
but they also did get like a lot of supporters, some simps, some people who are generally like, you'll get them next time and everything. But
You'll get
they,
better kind of thing. But
if
were
I
they
if I
better
remember,
than some people on Twitch and stuff?
I imagine so. Like I'm
So they
like
were still the best women in
like
the world at the sport,
not
but they
not
just
not
weren't
that
at
I can say because I didn't like see them play, or they didn't
right.
mention anything about them playing other female teams because they were just in that like, actual like main LoL league. And from what I saw, they lost all of their games and actually broke a record for losing in the quickest time.
I find this really fascinating because I can understand
Well,
a physicality difference in terms of like how
no,
hard you can hit a tennis ball, and between men and women, like a man probably is going to hold a faster hit.
yes, no, the whole
But
thing,
like with
the
the
whole
controller,
debate.
if you've got a keyboard and a mouse or a controller in front of you, then surely women and men have equal dexterity, finger
Equal,
dexterity.
they have equal grounding really, and I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah,
to a
yeah.
certain
So that's really
to a certain
fascinating.
I think to a certain degree that men and women could actually approach the game differently, considering men aren't as great at multitasking as females are. But the whole thing about female being physically not necessarily inferior, but not as physically, you know, as big as males is something it's still being debated today for some fucking reason. And it's always been a case of the fact that yes, males are generally going to thrive more in physically active
Look,
sports. That
you don't even have to go there. But if you bring it back to esports and gaming, then you've just brought up a whole point. Like I've never really
I
thought
th-
about this,
I think
why are there not women in the top
well
esports teams that are
there is
earning
the
millions of
I the
dollars?
at the end of the video he did mention that there was a female being debuted in an esports team, which is pretty cool. And the dude was like, yeah, girls can play this game. That's not a problem. And I hope to see like girls getting into the esports and everything. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm totally there with you. Well, it'd be pretty cool
Well,
and
if you look
everything.
at an
But
esports crowd,
I
like
just don't think I think how they approached that other team was just the wrong way. They sort of just went, we're going to make an all-female team because there's
no,
all.
I think that's wrong. I think that was a good way for them to introduce women into the sport, though.
Yeah, but but
Potentially,
like
I think it's a good way to introduce women into the sport. If they had a female only league, I think that's okay in order to try to get women to get into the sport. I think that's all right. But like in some of these, I've seen a handful of these esport documentaries. I'd say 4 or 5 of them, and they're really, like I said, I really enjoyed watching them. I think they're super entertaining. When they pan over to the audience, it's all fucking guys, man. Like there's no chicks in the audience watching
really,
this shit.
I've seen men and women.
I see mostly guys. I reckon the percentage would be 80% guys, 20% women.
Yeah, but I'd say that's because a lot of I mean, like a decade ago, and like even a little bit further than that, games were always considered geared towards guys. And in fact, no,
Yeah,
actually,
that's weird, right? But on
it's not.
Twitch,
It's actually
we
not
both know,
considered.
you and I
It's
both know that women on Twitch make more money than the average
yes,
woman
but there
on
was
Twitch
yeah,
will.
but remember there was a whole thing about it because a lot of porn stars did the exact same thing. They went to Twitch because they'd made more money,
Right, it's
which
the
is why
yeah.
there's now a rule because a lot of males complained
Yeah,
because a
but
lot of
Twitch is not about how good you are as a gamer, it's how entertaining you are as a host, right?
Yes, but a lot of men would complain because what they do is they'd have this they just have this gameplay going on that they might not even be playing, and a few of them got caught out, and they'd just be wearing like little bras, and
Ah,
and
fuck.
guys are just like, this is like ridiculously unfair and like everything like that, and
Oh,
they do.
what guys are saying it's unfair? Oh, get fucked, bros.
Well, no, that's
Fucking
why they
shut up and take it, mate. Get a
no no
sex
no
change.
that's no that's why Twitch no, no that's why Twitch
Oh, it's
brought.
not fair. This girl who doesn't game as good as I do is getting her tits out and she's
No,
stealing
that they
all
are
my
no they
followers.
the whole
Get
no
fucked,
the
bro.
whole thing was that they weren't gaming at all.
Oh
They
my
were basically
God.
just there going, look at my tits. That
Yeah,
was it.
so what? Like, it's fucking
Well,
entertaining.
either way,
Twitch is
that's
fucking
why
bullshit.
Twitch brought out the ruling that applies to both males and females, that you have to wear a certain amount of clothing, and also you can't get drunk.
You
If
can't
you
get drunk?
no, you cannot like you can't like just
You
go
can't.
fucking.
You can get drunk, but you can't maybe drink while you're gaming.
No,
Maybe.
I think I'm pretty sure you cannot just like you can't get fucking leathered and just be like, what's going on, guys? I'm gonna.
Well, that was never gonna work for me then. At some point, I was talking to Twitch about sponsorship. I'm like, "Oh, well, fuck, man, there's never gonna work for me.
Yeah, but
I'm drunk right now, so it's like, fuck that shit.
yeah, but I imagine it's to a certain point. I mean, you right now, I imagine it'd be fine. But
Nah, well, Twitch
I
can
imagine
go
it's a
get
case
fucked,
of
man. I'm not interested. If I had boobs, I might be
okay, yeah, but
interested, but I don't
okay,
have
yeah,
boobs,
but
so
let's put it like this. They did approach you. You said, yeah, sure, and then they looked at your internet and then they went, okay, so
But dude, I know Milky Pixel, she's a friend of mine and she's hardcore feminist, man. She's hardcore. Like I get
oh, that's
really
not good.
worried sometimes about even commenting under some of her posts because I don't want her to think I'm having a go at her, but sometimes I sort of am. And yeah, like I don't mean to have a go at her though. It's just like I just find her one of the most hardcore feminists that I know in my circle of friends. And I know that if you put two of us in the room for too long, we're just gonna fight. But if she watches this podcast, oh my god, she's gonna come down on me like a ton of bricks on a couple of things that I've probably said. But hey, I can't help but be
Yes.
myself. I just can't help it. I am who I am. But I get her point of view too. Like um,
Well, honestly, one time at work, I was just talking to this chick named Monique, and we were just I can't remember how entirely the topic came up, and but she like turned around and goes, wait, so you're saying it's not okay to be a feminist? I'm like, yeah. I was like saying it's not okay without thinking about it. I'm just like, huh. Later I was just like, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
yeah, it's look, I get it. Like she's got her heart in the right place, and she works for Microsoft, and she's involved as a um presenter at a lot of the massive games conventions and stuff like that. So she's all in. Like she's really into it. Um she's quite out
Yeah,
there with
but
all of that shit. So but she posts a lot of feminist uh content on her social media, and some of it just makes me fucking cringe and I can't help but comment. The other day she posted up a photo of um a larger girl that was wearing a
oh,
really nice dress, and she said like, this is me being all innocent and smart and normal and stuff. And then she posted the exact same location with the same background in front of like I don't know, like a lounge room or something, and then she's in a lingerie and she's like, but I have a sexy side too, and this is me as well. And her comment went along the lines of, some of my fans think that I need to be more conservative and more normal. And some of my fans think that I need to be sexier and I need to be raunchier. And
oh
then
no,
her
that's
sort
a
of
whole no,
message was that,
that's a whole
like,
topic.
yeah, and her message was like basically that, why can't I be both, right? It's like that Mexican ad, like, why can't we have both soft shell
Yeah, but
tacos and hard to shell tacos? But the funny thing
okay, yeah,
is,
but to br yeah, but to briefly
my comment that I wrote under that post was, well, what about just something along the lines of like, are they really her fans at all? Like, you go on about your fans. Like, if your fans fucking sitting there telling you when you're fully clothed that you should fucking take it off and get sexier. Like, are they truly your fans at all, man? Like, I think people get caught up in their followers and what their fans want and what their followers want. It's like, fuck that. If I was her, which I'm not, but if I was her and like a whole lot of my fans or 50% of them, like fucking American politics, right? Like 50-50, Biden, Trump. If 50% of my fans was like saying, Justine, you should take your clothes off and be sexier. I'm like, fuck you guys. Who the fuck are you? Like, you're not my fucking fans. Like, fans aren't meant to fucking tell you to do something that you don't want to do or be one way or another. So at least she liked my comment, man. Like, I saw today that she liked my comment. She didn't buy it. She didn't jump in on proving me wrong or saying something against me. But I think my general thought on it was like, if they're truly your fans, would they be fucking asking you to take your clothes off or put your clothes on if you're not wearing enough? Like, they're not your true fans,
So that's a whole topic, because the
Yeah,
whole
it is
thing
another
is like
topic.
that thing is like completely,
Mm.
because
We've
everyone
gone
pretty
off
much go.
esports. We have gone off esports, except that Milky is super into esports, so it is in relation in some ways. But
Look,
she's
we
she's super
of
into
course
esports.
disagree. We of course disagree that you obviously don't consider it a sport. I
It is
do.
not a real sport, man. It is an e-sport.
It
That
is a
that's
real
that, that
sport.
it is not a real sport. It's
It
an
is a real
e-sport.
sport. It is a real sport.
No, I completely disagree with you there.
And I completely think it is. And I disagree with you. That's the point.
Yeah, that is the point. I think it'll be interesting if anyone actually watches this video or listens to this podcast this far down the track and has an opinion on it. Maybe we have to agree that it will probably be 50-50. I think some people will obviously think that esports are real. Um, and some people will think that they're completely not real. But I
What
think the
people
fact that they're called esports it already goes to show that they're not called sport. So I already think that I'm winning here in
Well, they are
that
called sport. They're
no,
just
they're
called
called
electronic
esports.
sport.
Yeah, but it's not sport then. Every other sport is called sport except for esports.
So they stand out. They're what
Like I think
poker
like
is called
having
sport.
e-sex is not the same as having real sex. Like I'm just a realist in the end, I think. So I think but I think the future's coming, man. Like I don't like robot sex dolls and all that shit, and like I wouldn't be surprised in future if people never have sex at all. So I can see it coming. I can see it coming. And um yeah, like if someone wins an esport match and feels the same elation that a real sport person feels when they win, then yeah, you're right. Like I'm with you. More power to them. More power to them. I'm not trying to rob them of that.
You have to stop saying real sport, because like I keep saying, it's subjective.
Yeah, but it's just my opinion.
I
Like
know.
my opinion is I will never look at
Why
esports
don't
as
you just
being a
say
real sport.
traditional sport?
Oh, yeah, I could, I suppose. Just to be less offensive, I could. I was
It's
for
not
so
less
long of my
offensive.
life.
It's just the fact that every time it's just like, yeah, well, if you keep saying real sport, it always comes to the fact that how do you define that?
Yeah, I define it as not on a computer. Like a computer is virtual.
Okay, so
It's a
poker's a
virtual
real.
desktop on an Apple.
Oh,
I have a desktop with a trash can and I have
poker's
folders.
a real sport.
No, I disagree with that.
But no, you just said it's not a real sport if it's not on the computer. Poker's not on a computer. It's on a table with
Ah,
cards,
you
so
got
it's
me
a real
there.
sport.
Yeah, you got me there. Yeah, but is it a real sport? I don't consider it a sport.
Oh, they do.
I
People
don't.
apparently do.
Yeah, you're right. Though people do. Do they? I don't consider poker a real sport. I think it's fucking ridiculous
Neither
if
do
they
I.
call it a real sport.
Neither do I. But I just asked you to define a real sport, and you just said things that aren't on a computer. So therefore, fishing is a sport. Poker is a sport. Bowls is a sport.
I think fishing
Hacky
is a
sack
sport.
throwing
I
is a
think
sport.
fishing is a sport.
No, sport. I don't think it's a sport. I think it's just a recreational or hobby.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's
I've never gone
questionable.
fishing. I never want to go fishing.
Really? It's fucking awesome, man. I love
From
fishing.
what I've nah, from what I've seen, all you do is just go, cool. Let's just sit here for fucking hours. It's just no, that's just not something that's ever interested me. Plus, I don't like fish anyway, so
Oh, well, that doesn't help. I do tend to eat the fish that I catch, or I let them go. But yeah, eating fish that I catch is it's pretty next level, man. It's as Joe Rogan would say, there's something about men. We have this hunter in us. This it's still in us, and when you catch your own food and eat it, it feels pretty amazing. It feels like you're
of
connecting
course,
to something that you were doing centuries ago. So
it's
I'm
still
into
in
it.
us. Just to be like, we're not cavemen anymore. Therefore, every one of their what they did back then is complete. It's like, no, we still literally fight over like some of what we consider
Fight
like the
on the
dumbest
internet.
things. I mean,
Just fight on the internet.
there are literally sport. There are no, there are literally sports surrounding that
we
MMA
should
and
we should make a
boxing.
virtual reality debating game.
Oh my gosh.
You put on your headset and there's someone there and it's your opposition and you just debate them for hours. You get in the
It's
zone and just
just a random person, and then a card just
a
comes.
random topic. Feminism. Let's go. Oh fuck, that would be a good game.
Yeah,
I
but
think it'll actually take
I'd
off.
say I'd say what the thing has to do is you have to have a button there if you go I agree or disagree,
That's
and then
it.
the debate only starts if you're literally opposed to it. Is esports a real
Fucking
sport?
hell, let's do
One
this.
dude's like agree, one dude's like disagree, and it's just like begin.
Holy shit, I'm surprised there isn't a debating game already. That's fucking hilarious, man. Or like
Yeah, there's
even
literally.
be like president for a day and like have a
Oh my
presidential
god.
debate on a computer game. Like how fucking funny would that be, man? Holy shit.
That would be hilarious. Just oh my god, it's about to go down.
Oh my god. And like you could like go hardcore like Grand Theft Auto style as well and just like do presidential rallies and shit and like oh my god, that'd be so funny. And like all the conspiracy theories that you throw up during electoral week and stuff like
It's the
oh
Russians. It's the
fucking sick
Russians.
Russians and the sex tapes and the fucking the son
Private
that does crack.
emails.
Oh, his son
Yeah.
does crack. His son's gone to sleep with a crack pipe in his mouth. Oh fuck, man, that'd be such a good game.
His son has a string of illegitimate children with hookers. Okay.
I think that should be Rockstar's next game, man. That'll be hilarious. Uh all right, dude. Well, look, let's wrap it up. I think there's more questions than answers, but
Oh no, the only other thing I was going to go into
mm,
was the other thing that I actually it'd be the one thing I truly dislike about people. Well, not like people sort of like sports or some particular people, which is where they go. Sports is a manly thing.
oh yeah, fuck.
Now here's the thing.
Oh.
Here's the thing. Some sports I completely agree are manly. UFC, boxing, rugby league, 100%.
No,
100,
UFC women are awesome.
no, as in it's a fairly manly, masculine sport in the grand scheme of things. Whereas like tennis, cricket, and everything, I don't consider like manly sports because they're just. I mean, come on.
Oh
But
man, those guys smash the ball.
no,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'm with you on this one, which is another good thing. It's always good
yeah,
when
but
we
like
butt heads,
as
but
yeah, like, but as I said, like I don't entirely agree that it's a manly thing, and I don't nowadays. I don't. I just again, but
well, the men's
but
tennis they make more money than the female tennis because more
yeah, but
people buy more
no,
tickets to
yeah,
the men's final,
no.
right?
To me, money has nothing to do with it.
Right. Okay.
Because if that was the case, again, poker would be the most manly sport ever, because they literally deal in millions.
Well, I'd also rather watch the lingerie league than watching American men play
Yeah,
football.
well, either way, I just dislike it when people like all sports is manly.
Oh yeah, no,
But then, but
that's
then, when,
so you're well, we're in agreement then.
yeah, but like as I said, like, I brought up this. I'll tell the story, but like what I said on Discord. So I was talking to my dad, and he was watching the rugby, and he's like, "Huh, I thought you came up to do a manly thing," and I'm like, What's rugby?" He's like, "Yes, all sports is manly." I'm like, "No, it's not." And he's, "Oh, what you sure? That's very unmanly of you to say."
Hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I've gotten into Russian league volleyball, which is why I said I'd bring that back later. Because like, for some reason, I've gotten into volleyball. It's like it's actually a pretty good sport. I'm actually really enjoying it." And then my dad's like, "That's a girly game." So I pretty much just turned it, immediately back on him. It's like, "Isn't all sports manly? But how can it be a girls'
Yeah,
game?"
right, right, right. But he doesn't consider it a sport.
No, what annoyed me was just the fact that he was just like only someone who
Yeah, well,
only an unmanly person would say that, and I was just like that just annoyed me because I'm like, basically I've just caught you out your own bullshit and you're just trying to cover it up.
yeah.
And fucking hell.
Oh well, I think most of the world would agree that you know sport is not a manly thing. No way.
Well, it's just I I consider some sports manly, but like all sports is not manly.
No, no, completely disagree with that. Yeah, I would never say that. I would never say that. Like, a great example in the car scene is a good friend of mine, Courtney Cece. She took me out. Like she's been into drifting for quite some time, and then she was teaching drifting. And it's really hard for her as the only girl in drift school and stuff because they all drift guys are a real interesting breed of human being. And we were at a big event at some point, and she took me out for an exhibition drift in front of the entire crowd. We're talking about an event. There's a lot of people watching, and she took me out as a passenger and holy fuck, she can drive, man. Like I cannot drive. Like I can drive, but my God, I could not drive like how she can.
Yeah,
So
but
and
that
and
that
and, and she did that too. Like one night she came over in a new Porsche. Like she was working at oh man, I don't want to get in trouble. But anyway, we went for a date night and she like took me out in this Porsche and the way she drove it was just fucking awesome. She's an awesome driver. So
but all of that is that sort of stuff as well. Like if I went up to a female tennis player, a pro, I'd get creamed.
mhm.
Like, yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
it's just that's how
You can't say it's
that's
a
how it'd
manly
be.
thing. Like you just can't,
Like
you know?
even if I would go up to like Kelly Holmes or Ronda Rousey and just be like, I'm a
Oh,
man, I'll be able to beat her in an and I'd just get like floored. I'd just be like, oh my God, I've
you
just been
you'd,
beaten the
you'd lose
crap out
even in
of.
an arm wrestle, let alone a jiu-jitsu match or
Yeah, because
yeah,
they
like I mean they're physical specimens, like um they train hard and they've got a lot of power and their mental strength is really strong too. So yeah, there's no way you can say that it's a man sport. I don't even think some sports are more manly than others. I completely disagree with that. I think in history you see like the Nike women's ad where like the there was a marathon that was happening in France and this one woman decided to appear from fucking nowhere and join the marathon and the police and the security staff dragged her out of the race because it was women weren't allowed to run. And it's like, man, like you can see the disadvantage where it started and how far it's gotten now. Like I think um, you can't say that it's a manly sport. Like no sport, all sports are manly. Like that's completely wrong. I don't even think that mentality exists anymore, man. No way.
well, apparently it does. I don't know. I'm around
If you're
people
fucking 80 or
that do.
90, like it might, like if you're an older person, older generation, I get that. That's another thing about society these days. It's like they don't understand that, like someone that says the word cunt or someone that says like, um, the N word or something like if you grew up with that and then now you're being flamed for saying it today, but it's all it's what you grew up with. It's almost like when I say in high school, we used to use the word gay all the time. Oh, that's fucking gay. It's like that. And it's like if I was to say that now in public, I get fucking annihilated. What you want to try to send me to jail or some shit for saying that? it's all I grew up with.
Yeah,
So that
same here. Like going like, oh, that's gay, or
that's
you're
gay,
being gay,
right?
and
But
it's basically like a negative slur towards a person. But like nowadays, if you say that, it's just like,
it's
it's
political now, and I get it. I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm like, yeah, so you're, but there's got to be some transitional period. Like you can't expect an 80-year-old person today to not say things or be racist, because once upon a time everyone was fucking racist. So what are you gonna do? Like put
yeah.
their
Well,
face on
think
social
about
media and
like,
send them to jail or some shit? It's like name and shame and some shit. It's like
oh
there's
yeah, that's because like back then it was like, think about like the time they grew up in, and essentially what
exactly. I'm
was
not saying
considered
it's right.
right.
I'm not
Yeah,
saying
no,
it's
but
right.
what was considered right back then, it's just like these people
Right.
could be a lot worse. Like
Right.
this dude could
Right.
just get up and start
Right.
kicking the crap out of some gay dude just because he's gay, and that was
Yeah,
called
yeah.
gay bashing back in the day. And it's like fucking hell.
Look, I just think there's no compassion for, it's so fucking black and white now that if you cross that line, you're an enemy. And I think that's not realistic, you know? Like everyone was brought up in a different way, and no two humans are brought up the same, and no two humans are the same. So I don't buy into that shit, man. Like if someone thinks that I'm fucking racist or whatever for something that I said because that's all I know, well, I don't know. It's their problem, not mine. But I think at the same time, I'd probably end up like getting in trouble because that's just the way the world's going. So, um, it's fucking turned to shit, man. Like the whole social media, fucking internet world is crazy. Like, I'm not surprised if people wake up every single day just to fight people, just
Yeah,
to
pretty
fight
much.
people on the internet, and that's all
Yeah.
they do all day. Like they're doing a job, they're doing a full-time job, but realistically more of their energy goes into fighting people on Twitter and Facebook than actually the job that they're meant to be doing. I'm not surprised if that's the case today.
All right, so yeah, let's definitely wrap it up. So
Mm. Mm.
people of the internet. So what we've gone over, guys, is that I think esports is a real sport. Zen doesn't. Comment down below what do you believe and maybe why.
Yeah.
And also if sports is like all sports is manly, or if you agree with us that some are, but like it's not black and white. It's not like if you like sports, you're manly. If you don't, then you're not manly. And we believe it's more of a grey area. Please comment down below. And as always, we've geeked out. So nipples out.
Nipples out, guys.